When a government seeks to mislead its own people, it's time for ordinary people to speak up. I'm an ordinary man and not trying to tell you to vote in a particular way in the referendum. That's for you to decide. I'm simply asking you to think again. You can understand why some people are so impressed with the white paper and everything that the Scottish nationalists have promised. They say they can give us something we don't have and that surely everyone would want, namely independence. An independence that promises democracy with freedom, prosperity with equal opportunities, a fairer society with a greener environment. Who wouldn't want all of that? How could you say no to that? Before the white paper was published, people were worried about all the ifs and the buts of independence, about how much might have to change. But the white paper answers all the questions, reassuring us about so many potential concerns. Much it seems will stay the same, with many extra things to gain. We'll have more social justice, where the disadvantaged will not be left behind, a greener, more sustainable environment, a nuclear weapon-free Scotland. Plus, so many important things will be made free or continue to be free, from free childcare to free care for the elderly, from free university tuition to free prescription charges, and our pensions will be better protected and paid earlier. On top of all that, we'll get a good deal from a Europe keen to keep us in, and the rest of the UK, no matter what the UK government says now, will want us to use sterling, so they'll be happy to offer us a good deal too, underwriting our banks and our share of national debt. These deals will remove much of the risk of independence. There's only one thing wrong with all of that, the white paper and everything that I just said. It's all a mirage. Every word of it is misleading, intended to get us to do what the Scottish nationalists fundamentally want. That is, to break up our country, the United Kingdom, forever, and to turn our backs on so many things and people that we love and care about that happen to be in other parts of our country rather than in Scotland. The Scottish nationalist plan to mislead and misdirect you starts with the very concept of independence. It's simply not true to suggest that we're being offered what we do not already have. Rather, we're being tempted to give up what we already have and accept a nationalist version of it in return. Oppressed peoples all over the world would long for the independence we already have, in terms of access to democracy, freedoms and equal opportunities. We're not remotely oppressed. There are disadvantaged people in Scotland and the rest of the UK that we should and must do more for, but we don't need to break up the country for that. No, the nationalists are offering us their version of independence in place of what we already have. In the nationalist version, they, the SNP government, will have all the power rather than just some of it. But be careful what you wish for. Ask yourself what the nationalist leadership have done with the power they already have before you give them more. At the launch of the white paper, Alex Salmond and Nicola Sturgeon described it as the most comprehensive blueprint for an independent country ever published. They didn't mention that it was also the worst example of a government in a modern democracy trying to mislead their own people on a truly industrial scale. They've produced a white paper using your money and public resources, and they've filled it with their manifesto and propaganda. It's biased and slanted and presents an insular and divisive nationalist view of our country. They've misrepresented this as an official white paper when it's actually a nationalist manifesto. They've abused their power, misused public funds in its production, and they've badly compromised the Scottish civil service in the process. This shameful document, this white manifesto, is full of half-truths and half-promises and is cynically divisive as it proposes that the people of Scotland should gain at the direct expense of those of our fellow countrymen and women who live outside Scotland. It proposes nothing less than a betrayal of the people of England, Wales and Northern Ireland, who've stood by us just as the people of Scotland have stood by them over generations. I cannot in all good conscience have anything to do with that. Can you? I'm not telling you how to vote in the referendum. I'm just asking you to think again about some of these issues and how this nationalist government is trying to mislead you. Then make up your own mind. I've been given something of a gypsy's warning that an ordinary man, particularly with this accent, shouldn't speak out, that it might even be dangerous. Scotland's been my home for 23 years. It's been great to live in such a beautiful place, to know so many wonderful people. During that time, I've been accepted into the heart of the lives of so many people, into the heart of what it means to live and work in Scotland, of what it means to be Scottish. Throughout this time, I've never sensed that where I come from mattered. I could have come from England or Wales, Poland or Pakistan. My sense is that for the great majority of the people of Scotland, it really makes no difference. If they see me or anyone else doing their best, that's good enough. So who am I? Well, my name suggests there's Welsh blood as well as English running through these veins. And my mother would have me know gypsy blood too. So perhaps the gypsy's warning is better understood by me than some might think. In truth, how many of us could claim pure heritage of any particular part of these isles? More to the point, why does it matter anymore? It's a melting pot, this nation of ours, and all the better for it. I've not set out to antagonise, but simply to ask people to think again. If anyone, particularly those I know, feel my words disrespect that which they believe in, I apologise. That was not my intent. It would have been easy to have said nothing, to let what I believe in be silenced. But what message would that have given to my family, my friends and colleagues, to everyone? Not about me, but about my country. Thank you for listening.